Don't you? I'm just gonna wait. Best friend. Who knows, I might be singing. So we have wait, I don't know. So you can't actually. So welcome to match reaction and player ratings. It's a little bit different. I haven't really done this before. Normally I just do my player ratings. That's like a sit down video and, you know, upload it next day. But this time it is different. We are doing them combined and doing a live instead. Who knows, I might continue doing this for all the games, or this might just be like a one-off. I don't know yet. But, you know, I thought I struggled with what my player ratings were going to be. But I actually found it quite easy. Well, for some of the players anyways, especially Winks. I managed to do it quite quickly. How do I do this? Where's my... This is what isn't annoying because it's like you're live, but you're not live. Well, I am live, but Twitter. Oh, I wish I could spell. So be sure to let me know what your player ratings are as well. We're going to start with Galini. So Galini, I gave a 6. Oh my god, my hair. A 6. I mean, to be fair, there were a few mistakes in there from Galini, especially start the game. You know, misplaced passes, a bit under pressure. Wasn't really helped out with the defence though. Couldn't really pass out from the back that easily, and he did make a few errors. Couldn't reach anything about the goal. A bit of a deflected shot. But all in all, from Galini, it was, and he made some saves as well. So all in all, it was an average display. But to be fair, he wasn't the worst player on that pitch. Before we carry on with like the play ratings and stuff, can we just talk about the ref for like just a second? Because the ref, I mean, yellow cards be given out for no reason, especially that Scarlet yellow card literally made no sense. No sense whatsoever, and I don't know why that in the VITESSE, is it VITESSE? I keep saying VITESSE, I keep saying it wrong. Dive in, their fans cheating towards the end. Like, that free kick could have been taken quicker and we could have had like another chance or whatever. But the ref was on something, to be honest. Didn't really understand what was going on. But we... Anyways. In the end, a 1-0 defeat isn't really the end of the world as such. We can still turn it around. We can still, finish top of the group and get through to the next round. But some of those players on that pitch, I don't want to see playing in a Spurs shirt. Not for Premier League, definitely not for Conference League. They can, go on the transfer list. But moving on to who should we speak about next? Let's talk about Tanganga. So Tanganga, I gave a 7. I think he was one of the better players on the night. He was defended really, really well. He was getting forward quite a lot. He didn't really make an impact in the final third. But he was one of those players trying. And he was effective in some ways, and his defending was probably one of the best defensive displays from the back four. So do you think that he can somewhat come away from this game feeling like not happy, but he can, feel a bit happier that he, at least performed to some standard, whereas some other players just, they didn't really turn up. They weren't really effective whatsoever. But with Tanganga, one of the better players. Sanchez, a 6. I do think his first half performance was better than his second half performance. First half, he was making tackles. He was defending quite well. But in the second half, he sort of just was making more errors. Wasn't really lost the ball quite a lot. Lost the ball in dangerous areas, especially in our own half, which didn't really help. And we were under attack most of the game in that second half, mostly. Sanchez, average display. He didn't really offer much defensively in that second half. He sort of just went back to the old Sanchez with the shakiness and the errors, and yeah, I can kind of see why he's not performing in the Premier League at this current moment in time. I don't think that performance will get Nuno to think, oh, you know what, Sanchez, he can play in the Premier League games. Sanchez was a bit erratic at times. Agreed. I don't know what it is with Sanchez. From that first half, that second half, they're completely different performances. But yeah, now moving on to Rodon. I also gave Rodon a 6. I was kind of disappointed with his defending at times. I do think he struggled a bit. Maybe having Sanchez as a partner didn't really help him. But I do think his start was a bit shaky, and he was a bit not on it as much as he should have been. But then again, that could be because he hasn't really played that much. So I can kind of give him a bit of slack for that because he hasn't really had much game time. I can't even count how many times he's played. But with Rodon, a few headers, defended somewhat decent, but it was not that great from Rodon. But average, I don't know what you thought of him, but I just think there was errors in there, and they didn't need to be. First minute, giving the ball away when passing out from the back. I wonder if it's probably because he's got Sanchez next to him. Yeah, that's probably why his performance was a bit lacking, and he was just not how he normally plays. But I don't think he probably had, what's the he just probably didn't feel comfortable with Sanchez next to him, which I don't blame him whatsoever, especially from this performance. Yeah, so Rodon, I give him a 6. Now, Davies, who was captain on the night, I gave him a 5. I mean, his defending was not that great, let's be honest. He got forward quite a lot, but he wasn't really effective when going forward. So that kind of just makes it. If he had no defensive, which is not there, the attacking, he was forward. But he would just lose the ball, and it's just frustrating. I miss having Reguilon on that left-hand side, being left back, because at least he can cross. Davies just can't do those things, and it just explains why he's just not playing. And maybe a bit harsh because he has come back from injury, but I just don't know what to do with Davies. I think I don't want him playing. We need to get a better backup to Reguilon than Davies. But anyways, I don't know what else to say about Davies because it was just atrocious. I'm still not understanding why he's captain. I mean, maybe because he's one of the most experienced players. I don't know. But he didn't really. I don't know what attributes he offers as captain. But moving on. Should we speak about Winks? Should we go into Winks? Because Winks was it? Winks. I gave Winks a 2. I was really tempted to give him a 0 or a 1, but I gave him a 2. What rating do you give Winks? Because I don't know, I feel like it's kind of harsh, but not. But also maybe it's way too high. But with Winks, defensively, not there. He just can't defend. We're on the attack and he loses the ball every single time. I don't know what Winks offers to the team, and I kind of expected him to play, but I feel like the first 2 games of the Conference League, Winks played well, but I don't know. But this game, he can't attack. He doesn't really offer anything to the team, so I don't want to see him play anymore. I want him out, and you can just see he's not motivated to play, and he wants to complain all the time about how he's not getting game time. But then you see him perform like tonight, and it literally explains why. Because he can't defend, he can't attack, he can't do anything that's going to help the team win the game, and he can't create anything. He's not a creative player. So if he doesn't offer anything defensively, he doesn't offer anything going forward, creatively, and then because he's pairing up with Lo Celso, and Lo Celso is a much better player. So I think having Winks, it's just every time he got the ball, I got frustrated. Every time he got the ball, I was like, oh, here comes a mistake. He's going to lose the ball here. And it's like he was playing in slow motion. He couldn't pass the ball. Extra Inch made a point that his playing style, I suppose, is always very talented, which is fair. But even when we play a possession game, he doesn't give us much other than moving the ball left and right. I know, right? Literally, the only thing Winks can do is sideways passing or backwards passing. And we see it whenever it's an important game, or literally, well, every game's important, but if they're really important, he just doesn't perform. And it's just frustrating, and I'm sick of it. And I wanted him out in the summer, it didn't happen, no one came in for him. So I'm just hoping January or the summer he is gone. because it's just not good enough. You can clearly see that his levels have dropped. And no matter when he's going to play, he's not going to perform for another team to come in for him. He's not going to perform for Spurs because, I don't know. Moving on, I feel like we need to forget about Winks now because, oh god. If we talk Delhi, I gave Delhi a 3. I don't think he was as bad as Winks, but he still just wasn't good enough tonight. I don't know. He kind of went back to his old self, Delhi, like last season. No shots on goal. Not creating much, barely anything. Losing the ball quite a lot. Whenever he got the ball, he would just sort of just stand there, move a little bit, and then try and pass and lose the ball. So Delhi wasn't a great night. I don't know, maybe having Winks in that sort of area didn't help. And I do think the whole team didn't help each other, so I don't think there was many passes to be made. But I do think he wasted quite a lot of chances that we could have created something by having a shot, which wasn't really needed. He could just pass the ball. But I guess he is kind of guilty as well of sideways passing and backwards passing. I feel that's what we mostly did. Instead of going forward, we just went backwards, and that obviously caused a lot of errors and mistakes and didn't help whatsoever. So Delhi, that's all the good he done in the first part of the season. So few games. At this moment in time, you can see why he's not in the first team, and having him not starting, we're creating more. Don't get me wrong, I like Delhi. I do like him. I do think that he deserves at least till the end of the season. And if it doesn't turn out like he's hoping, or like we're hoping that he can turn it around, then I do think he's another player that needs to be gone. I don't know when gone, but you know what I mean. Then he's down his risk on decision. He's very wasteful. Yeah, I do think that, and I do think I don't know what it is. Maybe he's another player that plays in slow motion. Not as much as Winks, but they're kind of on a similar level, kind of. He needs a playmaking team. Yeah, we don't really have obviously Lo Celso. I feel like the start to the second half, he started to drive forward. And I don't think he was in the right position to do. I think Lo Celso needs to be playing further forward. And maybe Delhi and Lo Celso should switch positions. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But with Delhi, a 3. Who should go? Lo Celso. I gave Lo Celso a 6. I do think he again was one of the better players on the pitch, even though there was a few errors in there which made me laugh. He literally knocked himself over. I don't know how he did that and lost the ball, which was mad. And we were on attack at the time, so it was kind of frustrating. But I do think he was driving us forward, making runs, and I do think if anything was going to happen, it would have been from him, Hill, or Bergwijn. I do think they were the ones mostly trying to create chances. I feel like Lo Celso maybe should have played a bit more forward. Might have been able to get a bit more out of him in that game. But another one kept losing, lost the ball quite a lot. Some of his passing was a bit off. I think the whole passing thing was off for most of the game. But credit to VITESSE for their pressing. They definitely made it difficult for us. And I do think if our first team was out there, we might have been able to cope with it a little bit better than we did tonight. But anyways, with Lo Celso as well, I know a lot of people are still writing him off and saying that he that's why he's not starting, he should start and everything. But I do think if he's played further up the field, in our first team, he would thrive and he would succeed. And I do think with Ndombele and Lo Celso, they should both be fighting for that position, because I think we're not at a time when they can play together. I don't think it works. But for Lo Celso, there is some positives in there, but he just needs to perform in his natural position. But Bergwijn, I also gave Bergwijn a 6. I do think he was trying. He was making runs. He was trying to create stuff, and again, he's one of the players. I think if anything was going to happen, it would be coming from him. Obviously, just come back from injury, so that's you got to take that into account as well. For me, there wasn't enough happening in that final third of Bergwijn. I do think that one chance he had when he was running on one on one, and then he sort of passed it because he thought someone was there. I do think that was a bit wasteful, and he was a bit wasteful at times as well. But the effort was there, and you could see he was trying to make an impact. But sadly, it didn't really come to anything. But I'm not giving up on Bergwijn. There is a lot more to come from him. And I hope that Nuno doesn't see this as like, oh, he can't play. But I do think that Bergwijn will improve this season, and he will have a much better season than he did last season. It's just tonight was just kind of not the greatest performance from the whole team, but the effort was there with some players, and I do think the ref was a huge issue. We can get into the ref towards the end, but I have so many issues. Now, Hill. I gave Hill a 7. Obviously, he had that shot in the second half, which hit the bar, which was really unlucky. I thought he was going to score that, and I do think if that went in, different game, completely and utter different game. And he tried, he again, he was making those runs, and it wasn't as good as I was hoping, but he's still young, he's still getting used to he's been getting settled and stuff. But I do think he was one of the best players on the pitch. Maybe him and Tanganga were probably the best on the night. You can see there's a lot more to come from him. He can take positives from this performance. It's just a shame that some other players weren't on his level. But I'm hoping with Hill that he gets a few chances in the Premier League, because you saw him when he came on against Arsenal, made a huge difference. I do think, give him more time, he will thrive, and he will definitely be a great player for us. Now Scarlett. I gave Scarlett a 5. Now with Scarlett, it's really, really difficult, because I do think that it's really, really hard for him, because he's only 17, and he ain't going to be on the same level as Kane. He's not going to be on that level just yet. I do think people need to realise that, and kind of just not come down on him, because Scarlett is not the reason we lost this game. You can't put the whole performance down on a 17-year-old, because that literally is just not fair. So I do think with Scarlett, the effort was there with him. Obviously, he's not able to hold the ball up just yet. I do think he hasn't got the strength yet. He's not got the physicality yet. So I do think he struggled with that. But I do think there were chances in there for him. And to be fair, he didn't really get much service. So that was kind of disappointing. If there was more creative players on there, and they were able to get the ball to him a lot more, I do think he could have potentially got a goal, got an assist, or been able to affect the game effectively, going forward. Okay, but can we talk about the penalty that Scarlett should have had? It's not VAR, is there? I don't think there is. But he was literally putting his shirt in the penalty box and then pulled him down, but the ref decided to give VITESSE a free kick. I don't know how they come to that conclusion. He was literally having his shirt pulled. Like, when I was just like but literally, they showed a replay and the commentators didn't even comment on the fact that he was getting his shirt pulled. Make it make sense. Like, I don't understand that. Like, if that was in the Premier League, that would have been a penalty. No doubt. So I don't know why in this sort of situation that wasn't mentioned. Like, if the ref didn't see it, whatever. But how can the commentators not even mention that? Like, not even the pundits throughout that game mentioned that. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why so many people just anti-Spurs? Like, what have Spurs done to be like to have this agenda against them? Like, I just don't understand it. It's not like we're winning loads of trophies and people are jealous. Like, we're literally 5th in the Premier League. We're 3rd in the Conference League table. Like, what's there to like? I don't get why everyone's got this agenda against Spurs. But anyways, with Scarlett, I do feel really, really sorry for him, and he deserves more chances. I do think maybe potentially people talk about him going out on loan. Maybe that could be an option. But I think at this moment in time, since we don't have a backup striker, no. Until we do get like another striker in, which seems to be like really, really difficult, I do think having Scarlett around is good. And I do think having him around the first team is also good because it gives him, he can develop and he can learn off the pros and like, you know what I mean? Like the senior players and stuff, not the pros because they're all pros. You know what I mean? I'm getting delirious now. So I do think either way, Scarlett is not to blame for the fact that we lost 1-0. And the fact that it was only 1-0, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Moving on to Nuno. Now, this is going to be interesting because I gave Nuno a 6. I know a lot of people blame Nuno, saying, oh, we should, you know, you should have brought some first team players, put them on the bench and stuff. But let's be honest, if Nuno did bring some first team players and he had to bring them on, people would moan. People would still moan, saying, oh, they shouldn't have needed to come on for us to win this game. And also, if one of them got injured, they will also get really angry at Nuno for playing them. So make it make sense that you can't have it both ways. And I do think him leaving the first team players at home was the right thing to do, even if we did lose this game. You know. Do you blame Nuno for this result? Let me know.
You going to bed?
In a minute.
What will you do? Otherwise you'll get tired. Don't you?
Yeah. I was just doing my player ratings. I was just doing my player ratings. See, I don't feel that way. I mean, people might think of me as like a Nuno lover, but I just think that team out there should have performed better than they did. And I don't think it should be down to Nuno to motivate the players. They should already be motivated themselves, but that's just my opinion. And you can see, like, the start of the second half, they improved. So I do think they listened to Nuno, but then it sort of drifted off again toward the end, and just wasn't that great. So those are my player ratings. If you haven't already, there's something in this video that our tags can help with, but he's got a better system. Nothing helps Winks. He can't even help himself. Like, I'm pretty sure the way we played wasn't how Nuno wanted us to play, and not how but with Nuno, he's gonna play a system, and with Winks, like, no matter how we play or perform, he's never gonna play well or to the standard he should be playing. So I don't think Nuno should be playing for Winks playing badly when he always plays badly. So if you haven't already, as I was saying, comment down below your player ratings. You can either do it in the chat or you can just comment after I've ended the stream. But, you know, I've kind of like doing my player ratings this way. And I do think that, did your boys win big? No, we didn't win. We lost 1-0. Can't really say that was surprising, or I'm surprised you haven't seen like the reaction to the game, to be honest. It was pretty much a bad performance from mostly all the players. Some players performed better. Wasn't to a great standard, but it is what it is. Still can turn this result, like the group, around if we win our remaining games. And I do think if we have first team players playing, then definitely we can, come first. Expressions will be fuming. Yep, I think he was fuming. I think as well he posted like a reaction to the game. But he's always human. Even sometimes when we win. So, which is kind of funny. I might have to watch his video to see what he says, but it's gonna be angry, but I do think it's gonna be funny to see his reaction anyway. Make sure you comment down below your player ratings if you haven't already. I just went through mine. I guess I can quickly say what I gave the players again. So, Galini, I gave a 6. Tanganga a 7. Sanchez a 6. Rodon a 6. Davis a 5. Bergwijn a 6. Winks a 2. Dele a 3. Hill 7. Lo Celso a 6. And Scarlett a 5. With Nuno I also gave a 6. Somebody said Dyer should play in DM in the second squad and Rodon playing in the squad. See, here's the thing. Is Dyer a better centre-back than he is a defensive midfielder? I don't know. I feel like he's kind of becoming a good centre back, which obviously we don't just want a good centre back. We want like an amazing one. But I don't think Dyer would want to play in that position, considering he tried so hard to get out of it. And also to your earlier point about Nuno having to play wings, I agree. Because if he wasn't going to bring any of the players who played first on against Newcastle, who else goes into that midfield unless it's like one of the younger ones in the academy, which people would probably still moan about anyways. But yeah, I think Winks had to sort of play. And I do think if we're thinking about, selling him, then he has to play. Do you know what I mean? For us to sell him, he's got to put in some kind of performance, even though he was atrocious. He isn't a bad DM, it's about his bad DM than Winks. That's somewhat inanimate objects. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think anyone that you want to put in the defensive midfield role is going to be better than Winks. I don't understand how he can go from how he played in that Champions League run that we had to the final to how he's performing now. Because obviously the squad is probably not as good as it was back then. Our levels have dropped and we've, declined quite a lot. But Winks, it's like some sort of weird situation because he's declined more than everyone else. I don't think any team is going to want him if he's performing like that. Obviously we do play West Ham Sunday and we're hoping, for a better performance and everything. So I will be doing my predicted lineup, which will be out on Saturday, so look out for that. Live watch along as well on Sunday. Does a game start at 4:30? Let me just check. No, it's at 2 p.m. So I will be going live around 1:55 for that game. And I'm looking forward to it. Obviously it's at the London Stadium, so we're playing away. And obviously West Ham are the favourites to win that game. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but it's just annoying. This game is a must win. For us to try. I mean, technically, we're joint fourth. Only our goal difference is really bad. But if we win, we'd be on the same points as Liverpool. So that's the game's really important. We should probably swap Winks for a bag of Umbro balls and some training tops. I think Winks' injury really affected him. Why can't I remember this Winks injury? I have really bad memory. Or maybe because it's just late, but I don't remember this really big was it a really big injury, or was it just, did he just stub his toe or something? Because that probably would have really affected him as well because he's so bad. I don't know. But anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. Should we address the ref situation again? I feel like we can't talk enough about this ref because he was atrocious. That's the worst refereeing of a game that I've seen in my life. And I'm 23, so that's a lot of games, but all the yellow cards he was putting out. And he was literally getting conned by the VITESSE. All their players would just dive in. He ran into some ad holders and got some odd injury. That just had to happen, didn't it? Have we found out how Doherty got injured yet? Because I'm still ad holding, not as holding. Okay. Have we figured it out yet? Because I don't know. All of a sudden he was like injured, and I was just like, what? Like, how did he get injured? Because I'm pretty sure it was in the game. No, I didn't see him getting injured in the game, or maybe No, he didn't get injured in the game. Must have been training. He's never Lamella. Like, because we never saw Lamella get injured, which is kind of funny. So how, Doherty? I mean, I'm not exactly, complaining that he's injured. It's just weird that we still don't know how he got injured. Because I'm pretty sure the last game he played was a Conference League game, and he was just terrible. Was it against the Euro he played? I think it was. Might have been. He was just atrocious. I don't want to see that ref. I've given up on Doherty like I have. Like, I was going to give him one more season, he might improve. I was wrong. I can admit that I was wrong. I was wrong about Doherty. He can perform well for Wolves, but he just can't perform well for Tottenham, and it's really frustrating because we bought him, and I'm just like, we need to get rid of him. As I was saying, I don't want to see that referee ref a Tottenham game ever again. I do not want to see that. I don't know what his name was. Should we find out what his name was? Because I don't want to see him. So I got a bit distracted because I was on the Sky Sports app and looking at the trying to find out who this ref is, and I've just seen all the I don't know if you can see this, but wait, probably not. Oh wait, there you go. The Tottenham ratings: Blaney 5, Tanganga 5, Sanchez 5, Rodon a 6, Davis a 6, Lo Celso a 6, Winks a 5, a 5. Really, a 5? A 5? What? Hill a 6, Ali a 5, Bergwijn 5, Scarlett 5. And I didn't mention McAndy. He wasn't really on that long, to be fair. What is going on? Everything is not working. Like, what are these ratings? Are they seeing what we're seeing? How are Winks and Bergwijn on the same level? And even, there's no way Winks performed the same as Bergwijn did. I don't know what they do. I don't know how they figure out these player ratings. Do you know what? I think they just put, they must have put in a generator or something and just put them out a hat or something like that. Yeah, that's probably true about Doherty as well. We need to sign Adama because honestly, I do think he could perform better in his Spurs team and have more output and finishing than he does in the Wolves team. And I didn't even find out what that ref's name is because I got distracted by his player ratings. I'm just like, what the heck is this? I want to find out his name. Oh, he doesn't tell me what his name is. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if player ratings were created via tombola random. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Four yellow cards. See, I would have to say, with those four yellow cards, the only one that's probably correct was Bergwijn's, because he did stop them taking a free kick. But everyone else is no. Even that Winks yellow card wasn't a yellow card. How many yellow cards did they get again? I saw it, and then 3. 3 yellow cards they got, even though they kept fouling our players. And Tanganga got fouled, and he didn't even blow his whistle. Like, please, this ref. What is his name? I can't even find his name. I just want to know who he is. You know what? I can't find it on here. I'm going to Google it. Did you see Nino throw his hands up at decisions a few times? Yep, I did. I think he didn't mention it in like his interviews or anything, but I did see that, and I do think he was getting frustrated, like I was. What was his name? Oh my god, why did it change that? Harm or Smurs? So this man, wait, can you see that? This man was the ref, right? Now, I don't want to agree with your point, it's German, because he's German, that's why he was so biased. But this, I don't want to see him ref another Spurs match ever again. Never. Never, never, never. Like, I don't know if it's because it was Tottenham. Like, please, this agenda is just ridiculous. Mourinho would have been ranting about it. Kind of misses one part of it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand why Mourinho was sacked in the end. I do think it was probably too soon. But with Mourinho, I don't have a problem with Mourinho. I actually like Mourinho. He's a funny guy. Like, you have to admit that. Like, he's classic. Like, he's class. Like, he's like, you know, whatever. But I do miss his interviews and stuff that he says. Like, he doesn't hold back. He definitely did harm. Yep, he did. He harmed us. We should have, like, clearly, he's against Spurs. Don't know why. Don't know what has Spurs done to him. Or was it just because we're an English team? I don't know. But that ref, oh my god. And the fact that the commentators didn't even mention it, the pundits didn't even mention it, like, literally. We have no one on our side. Weirdest first game ever. Like, has he refed a game before? Or has he just won a competition? Would surprise me. But anyway, guys, it is getting late, and I do have work tomorrow, sadly. And I'm not looking forward to it because, you know, it's work and I'd rather stay in and, you know, have a lane. But those are my player ratings. This is my match reaction. Be sure, if you haven't already, as I said before, let me know down below if you agree with these player ratings, or let me know your player ratings down below. Thank you for joining me again. This was fun. I might do another one of these for the West Ham game, or I might just do how I normally do it. I don't know, I haven't decided. But yeah, so my next video, it will be either my predict lineup, which is coming Saturday. I do still have to film my clothing haul, so I might do that So it will either be a video lineup or a video clothing haul. Also, let me know what other like videos you would like to see from me, football content or other content that you'd like to see. But again, thank you guys for joining me, and come on, new Spurs. Let's beat West Ham on Sunday. Like, let's just do it. Like, we need to. Let's get into that top 4.